Chapter 1. The Underestimated Species. The galaxy was an endless expanse of stars, civilizations, and ancient grudges, where power was measured in fleets of warships, technological supremacy, and political cunning. For millennia, the great interstellar empires had carved out their dominions in a vast cosmic chessboard, each species confident in its place, its legacy, and its superiority. Among these towering civilizations, humans were the subject of quiet derision, an underestimated species from a seemingly insignificant blue planet called Earth. Known primarily as curious upstarts with limited technology and a penchant for stubborn resilience, humans were tolerated at best, mocked at worst, dismissed as a primitive race unlikely to ever pose a true threat to the galactic status quo. The Galactic Concord, a coalition of powerful alien species whose influence spread over 1,000 star systems, had convened its triennial summit on Helios Prime, an orbiting citadel that hovered above a dying star. The station itself was a marvel of engineering, a swirling vortex of gleaming spires and rotating habitats, where the most formidable leaders of the galaxy gathered to debate, scheme, and negotiate. Among the throng were towering reptilian warlords, translucent energy beings from the nebula worlds, silicon-based entities communicating in bursts of light, and countless others whose very forms challenged the imagination. They spoke of ancient treaties, border disputes, and technological arms races, their voices heavy with the weight of millennia of conquest and defense. Amidst the glittering assembly sat the human delegation, led by Ambassador Elena Voss. Unlike the alien dignitaries whose appearances ranged from intimidating to otherworldly, Elena's presence was decidedly modest. A slender woman with determined eyes, dressed in a sleek but simple uniform bearing the emblem of Earth's unified coalition. To many around her, she was just another footnote, a symbol of a species still crawling in the infancy of galactic politics. The conversations around her were filled with dismissive glances and whispered jokes about those Earthlings, their antiquated ships, and their feeble military capabilities. Humans had entered galactic affairs only a century prior, relatively late compared to other civilizations that had been exploring the stars for millennia. Their technology, while advancing rapidly, was still regarded as behind the curve. Outdated propulsion systems, rudimentary energy weapons, and limited experience in large-scale space warfare. Earth's fleets were described as scattered and disorganized, its soldiers brave but poorly equipped, and its strategies unsophisticated at best. Tales of human conflicts on their homeworld, including internal wars and skirmishes, were seen as quaint episodes, barely relevant to the grander galactic struggles. At a side meeting during the summit, the High Counselors of the Xeric Dominion, a fierce reptilian race known for their ruthless expansionism and advanced bioweaponry, sneered openly at reports of Earth's recent naval exercises. "If those humans believe their rusty ships can challenge our fleets," hissed Lord Zeltor, his scaly maw curling into a disdainful grin, "they will learn quickly how little they know of true power." His advisors chuckled, the sound like gravel scraping against stone, echoing the collective sentiment of the room. Meanwhile, the enigmatic Vorin Collective, a networked consciousness of sentient machines, viewed humans with detached curiosity. Their unpredictability is statistically significant, intoned a synthesized voice, but their technological threshold remains well below galactic norms. Their continued survival is an anomaly, not a sign of superiority. To the collective, humans were an inefficient blip in the grand algorithm of cosmic evolution, a species too primitive to be of concern. Yet, despite the scoffs and dismissals, humans were quietly advancing. Earth's engineers and scientists had made breakthroughs in areas the galaxy had overlooked: rapid adaptive AI integration, modular warship designs capable of instant battlefield reconfiguration, and stealth technologies that masked entire fleets from even the most sensitive sensors. The human military doctrine was unorthodox, blending guerrilla tactics honed in planetary defense with innovative cyber warfare strategies that disrupted enemy systems from within. These advances, however, were kept tightly under wraps, overshadowed by the loud proclamations and dazzling demonstrations of other powers. Ambassador Voss, aware of the skepticism surrounding her species, maintained a calm demeanor in the grand halls of Helios Prime. She knew that talk was cheap and that power could only be demonstrated through action, not words. Her mission was clear: to navigate the treacherous waters of galactic diplomacy, to secure alliances and resources for Earth's growing ambitions, and most importantly, to prepare humanity for the day when it would no longer be ignored or laughed at. Behind the scenes, Earth's military leaders coordinated a series of covert operations to test their new technologies and strategies against simulated and real threats. These exercises revealed a startling truth: humans were not the weaklings the galaxy believed them to be. Their warships, equipped with adaptive shield matrices and autonomous drone swarms, could outmaneuver and outlast enemy vessels twice their size. Their soldiers, trained in combined arms warfare and augmented with cutting-edge exoskeletons, moved with lethal precision and coordination that belied their numbers. The human military was evolving rapidly, quietly building a force that would soon reshape the galaxy's balance of power. In the months following the summit, tensions flared along the disputed borders between several major powers. Skirmishes erupted in the asteroid belts and neutral spaceports, each side probing the other's defenses, testing resolve. It was in this volatile atmosphere that humanity made its move, a calculated display of strength designed not just to defend Earth's interests, but to announce their arrival as a formidable force. The world watched as Earth's fleet emerged from the Sol system, a coordinated armada of sleek warships and stealth cruisers, their movements choreographed with a precision that stunned observers. Initial reports of the fleet's capabilities spread quickly, contradicting the long-held assumptions of human weakness. Galactic news feeds buzzed with speculation as humans enforced a blockade against a rogue faction threatening the fragile peace in the Outer Rim, neutralizing enemy assets with unprecedented efficiency and minimal casualties. This demonstration was the first glimpse the galaxy had of true human military power, and it shattered illusions. The arrogant laughter and dismissive smirks faded as alien commanders scrambled to analyze the threat. Across the summit halls and war councils, discussions shifted from condescension to cautious respect. No longer were humans viewed as a curiosity. They were a rising storm, a wild card that could no longer be ignored. Amidst this shifting tide stood Ambassador Elena Voss, poised yet proud, knowing that humanity's moment had come. The era of mockery was ending, replaced by an era where humans would command attention, respect, and perhaps fear. The true story of Earth's military power was about to unfold, and no one in the galaxy would be laughing anymore. Chapter 2: The Hidden Forge of Human Might. For decades prior to their emergence onto the galactic stage, humanity had been quietly forging an arsenal unlike any other, born from necessity, ingenuity, and an unyielding will to survive in a hostile cosmos. While alien empires flaunted their grand warships and ancient technologies, humans delved deep into the realm of adaptive warfare, focusing not merely on the size or firepower of their fleets, but on versatility, unpredictability, and integration of cutting-edge science with human grit. The story began on Earth, a world scarred by centuries of conflict, yet rich in innovation. Faced with dwindling resources and constant threats, both terrestrial and extraterrestrial, human scientists and military strategists collaborated in secret, blending advancements in artificial intelligence, nanotechnology, cybernetics, and quantum computing. Their laboratories hidden beneath sprawling cities and beneath oceans became crucibles of innovation where ordinary machines transformed into living weapons, capable of self-repair and rapid tactical evolution. One of the keystones of this evolution was Project Helix, a covert program that integrated biological and mechanical systems into a symbiotic whole. Soldiers in the field wore biomechanical exosuits, sleek armor interfacing directly with their neural systems, amplifying reflexes, strength, and endurance beyond natural limits. This was more than armor. It was a second skin, a fusion of man and machine. Pilots controlled starships with thought alone, their vessels adapting in real time to enemy tactics, reconfiguring weapon arrays and shield distributions almost instantly. Meanwhile, Earth's fleets were revolutionized. Rather than deploying vast, cumbersome dreadnoughts vulnerable to focused assault, they fielded modular ships capable of rapid reconfiguration. Fleets could morph mid-battle, transforming frigates into missile platforms, turning cruisers into electronic warfare hubs, all guided by AI systems that learned and adapted with every encounter. This fluidity in combat style was unprecedented. It bewildered enemy commanders who expected predictable formations and tactics. Humans also invested heavily in stealth technologies, producing ships that could vanish within nebulae or cloak beneath sensor thresholds thought impossible to breach. Swarms of autonomous drones, coordinated by HiveMind AI, could infiltrate enemy lines, disable vital systems, and sow confusion with minimal risk to human lives. These drones operated with frightening efficiency, learning and evolving through combat experience, a digital reflection of human adaptability. But technology was only half the story. The human military doctrine emphasized flexibility, initiative, and decentralized command structures that empowered lower-ranking officers and soldiers to make rapid decisions. Whereas many alien forces relied on rigid hierarchies and slow bureaucratic approval, human units operated with autonomy, adapting strategies on the fly, exploiting weaknesses in real time. This doctrine was forged in Earth's tumultuous history of guerrilla warfare, insurgencies, and world wars, experiences that ingrained an instinct for survival against overwhelming odds. Training was relentless. Human soldiers underwent psychological conditioning that emphasized resilience and creativity, teaching them to expect the unexpected and thrive amidst chaos. Their battle tactics blended direct confrontation with cunning subterfuge, incorporating cyber warfare and misinformation campaigns as integral components of any engagement. Human spies, hackers, and saboteurs operated across the galaxy, preparing battlefields long before fleets arrived. Despite these advances, humanity remained cautious, mindful of the galaxy's delicate balance of power. They knew that revealing their full strength prematurely would provoke overwhelming retaliation. Instead, they carefully watched, gathering intelligence on rival powers, mapping weaknesses, and waiting for the moment when their intervention would be decisive and unassailable. This moment came amid rising tensions in the Outer Rim, where a coalition of minor states threatened to ignite a widespread conflict that could engulf neutral systems. Humans deployed a covert task force known as the Silent Vanguard, a fleet shrouded in secrecy and equipped with the latest in stealth and warfare technology. Their mission was clear: to neutralize the threat quickly and decisively, demonstrating Earth's capability while minimizing collateral damage. The Vanguard moved like ghosts, slipping past enemy patrols and striking with surgical precision. Within days, they dismantled enemy communications, commandeered supply routes, and incapacitated key warships without a single direct confrontation. Enemy commanders were left grasping at shadows, unable to pinpoint the source of the devastation. The human fleet's ability to adapt, learn, and evolve tactics mid-battle left opponents bewildered and disoriented. Back at Helios Prime, whispers of this unstoppable force reached the ears of the galaxy's most powerful leaders. Satellite feeds showed flickering images of the Vanguard stealth cruisers weaving through asteroid fields and nebulae, their plasma weapons firing with deadly accuracy before vanishing again into the void. Alien analysts scrambled to recalibrate their threat assessments, forced to confront the uncomfortable truth: humans were no longer to be underestimated. The turning point came when the Vanguard engaged a combined fleet of the Xeric Dominion and the Vorin Collective near the Gorgon Rift, a strategic corridor controlling access to several key systems. What began as a probing attack quickly escalated into a full-scale battle, with human ships outmaneuvering and outgunning their foes. Their modular ships switched roles seamlessly. Drone swarms overwhelmed enemy sensors while AI-coordinated missiles struck with pinpoint precision. Human soldiers led boarding parties that infiltrated enemy vessels using magnetized grappling gear and cybernetic augmentation, neutralizing crews with ruthless efficiency. The battle lasted mere hours, but left an indelible mark on galactic history. Reports circulated of entire alien fleets being routed with minimal human losses. The silent efficiency and overwhelming adaptability of the human forces rendered centuries-old tactics obsolete overnight. Across the galaxy, once dismissive factions reevaluated their stance on Earth's military might, shifting from amused condescension to wary respect. Ambassador Elena Voss stood before the Galactic Council with newfound authority, the laughter of her peers replaced by stunned silence. When she spoke of humanity's commitment to peace and stability, her words carried the weight of undeniable power. The moment had come when humans revealed their true military strength, and no one dared to laugh. Chapter 3: The Storm Unleashed. The galactic balance, once delicately poised, was irrevocably shattered the moment Earth's fleets materialized on the contested fringes of known space. For centuries, the sprawling empires and coalitions had jockeyed for control, their vast armadas glinting like jeweled dragons stretching across the void, their titanic warships slowly grinding against one another in a game of attrition and intimidation. Yet none had anticipated the sudden emergence of humanity's mechanized fury, a force as swift and precise as a lightning strike, and as merciless as the storms that had battered their blue homeworld for millennia. The first reports trickled through the intelligence networks like whispers of a coming tempest. Sightings of sleek, modular human warships darting through asteroid fields, their shapes shifting and adapting mid-flight, baffled veteran tacticians accustomed to the predictable routines of their adversaries. Enemy fleets, once confident in their numerical superiority and age-old tactics, found themselves outmaneuvered and outgunned by an adversary whose strategies were an unpredictable dance of innovation and ruthless efficiency. As the humans struck, their attacks were surgical, not merely engagements of brute force, but symphonies of coordinated chaos. Swarms of autonomous drones burst from the hulls of their ships, infiltrating enemy sensor grids and dismantling critical systems with near-sentient precision. Human pilots, augmented with neural interfaces, controlled their craft as if extensions of their own bodies, weaving through enemy fire with a lethal grace that defied comprehension. Their starships adapted instantly, redistributing power between shields, engines, and weapons in response to threats that alien commanders had yet to even register. It was not merely technology that gave the humans an edge, it was their doctrine, a fluid philosophy of warfare that embraced unpredictability, decentralized command, and relentless adaptability. Unlike rigid hierarchies that required orders to filter down through layers of command, human units operated with a degree of autonomy that allowed each soldier and captain to seize initiative, to improvise, to exploit fleeting vulnerabilities. This dynamic, born of Earth's turbulent history of guerrilla warfare and insurgencies, rendered human forces shockingly resilient and frighteningly innovative. In one engagement near the binary star system of Velka Prime, a combined armada of the Xeric Dominion and Vorin Collective attempted to crush a human outpost suspected of harboring resistance forces. The alien fleets converged in a coordinated assault, their massive dreadnoughts and bioorganic cruisers advancing in formation, their weapons primed to unleash devastation. Yet, as the attack commenced, human forces slipped through gaps in their sensor coverage, exploiting the interference patterns of the system's twin suns. Human stealth cruisers appeared behind enemy lines, disabling power conduits with electromagnetic pulses. Simultaneously, infantry units deployed via orbital drop pods initiated rapid boarding actions on critical vessels, their exoskeleton suits enhancing strength and reflexes to superhuman levels. These soldiers moved with practiced precision, cutting through enemy resistance with lethal efficiency before seizing control of weapon systems and turning them against their former masters. The battle's tide shifted in mere hours. Fleets once confident in victory found themselves disoriented and fractured. In the chaos that followed, alien commanders scrambled to recalibrate their tactics, desperately attempting to counter the humans' fluid strategies. But Earth's forces adapted faster, their AI-assisted command centers processing battlefield data in real time, predicting enemy maneuvers and adjusting formations accordingly. The human approach was relentless, combining electronic warfare, kinetic strikes, and psychological tactics that undermined enemy morale and shattered cohesion. Behind the scenes, this display was not spontaneous but the result of decades of preparation and silent growth. Humans had spent years cloaked in obscurity, their scientific communities racing against time to perfect quantum communication, adaptive camouflage, and self-repairing materials. They had studied alien tactics extensively, absorbing and improving upon them, transforming lessons learned on a once solitary planet into a comprehensive doctrine of interstellar warfare. The ripple effects of these victories extended beyond the battlefield. Galactic councils convened emergency sessions. Alliances formed hastily in hopes of countering the new threat. Rumors of humanity's true capabilities spread, casting a shadow of uncertainty over even the most established powers. Some factions proposed preemptive strikes against Earth's home system, while others sought diplomatic engagement to avoid full-scale conflict. Amidst the tumult, Ambassador Elena Voss emerged as a pivotal figure. Her calm, measured diplomacy belied a steely resolve forged in the crucible of conflict. She navigated treacherous political waters, balancing the need to showcase human strength with the imperative to avoid igniting an all-out war. She spoke openly of humanity's desire for peace, but made it clear that any aggression against Earth or its allies would be met with overwhelming force. The turning point came during the Battle of Sargass Delta, where a coalition fleet sought to annihilate a human stronghold in a remote star cluster. The humans, forewarned by their intelligence networks, prepared a defense unlike any before. Their warships, equipped with the latest in quantum shielding and weaponry, stood ready, while ground forces coordinated with orbital assets in a seamless ballet of war. When the battle erupted, it was a display of tactical mastery and technological supremacy. The human fleet absorbed enemy volleys that would have shattered lesser shields, retaliating with plasma arrays that cut through thick armor as though it were paper. On the planet below, soldiers wielded energy weapons with precision, supported by robotic units that repaired damage and reinforced defenses in real time. The human forces fought not only with muscle and metal, but with the unity and adaptability of a species that had endured and thrived through adversity. After hours of brutal combat, the coalition fleet was routed, its remnants fleeing in disarray. For the first time, many alien observers realized the true extent of humanity's military power, not just in technology, but in spirit, innovation, and unyielding determination. The moment humanity revealed its strength was a turning point in galactic history, a thunderclap that silenced the laughter of skeptics and forced every power to reckon with a new reality. In the halls of Helios Prime, where once human voices were drowned out by scorn, now Ambassador Voss spoke with authority, representing a species that had claimed its place among the galaxy's most formidable forces. The era of underestimation was over. The galaxy had been forever changed, and humanity stood ready to shape its future. Chapter 4: Ascendance and Reckoning. The echoes of the Battle of Sargass Delta reverberated across the galaxy like the first tremors of a colossal earthquake, unsettling empires that had once viewed humanity as a mere curiosity or an insignificant backwater species. The human victory was not just a tactical triumph, but a seismic shift in the galactic balance of power, a harbinger of a new era where the underestimated had become the dominant force. It was a revelation so profound that it ignited debates, realignments, and even open panic within the halls of the oldest and most powerful civilizations. On Helios Prime, the Galactic Council convened an emergency summit unprecedented in its urgency and secrecy. Alien delegates, many of whom had once dismissed Earth with condescending smiles, now bore grim expressions, their deliberations marked by a palpable tension. The reptilian warlords of the Xeric Dominion bared their fangs in frustration, while the ethereal representatives of the Vorin Collective projected cold logic infused with cautious calculation. The stars themselves seemed to hold their breath as the galaxy grappled with the realization that humanity had not merely caught up, but had vaulted ahead with technologies, tactics, and an indomitable spirit that defied expectation. Amidst this upheaval stood Ambassador Elena Voss, a figure transformed from the sideline diplomat to the voice of a burgeoning superpower. Her presence commanded respect, her words carrying the weight of a people who had endured unimaginable trials to claim their rightful place. She articulated humanity's vision not as conquerors, but as guardians of a fragile peace, stewards of progress, and partners in the shared destiny of the galaxy. Yet, her message was clear and unambiguous. Any threat to Earth or its allies would meet a response swift and overwhelming, crafted with the precision and adaptability that had become humanity's hallmark. On the front lines, the human military capitalized on their momentum, expanding their influence into contested regions and establishing new alliances with factions eager to align with the rising power. The warships that once moved cautiously now sailed boldly through contested systems, their crews united by a shared purpose and confidence born from hard-fought victories. Ground forces, equipped with the latest in biomechanical augmentations and AI-assisted command, secured planets and stabilized volatile regions, bringing order where chaos had reigned. Yet, with ascendancy came the weight of responsibility and the specter of retaliation. Rival powers, humbled but not defeated, began to consolidate their forces, forging uneasy coalitions aimed at countering the human surge. Espionage, sabotage, and proxy conflicts intensified, weaving a complex web of intrigue that stretched across star systems. Humanity found itself tested not only by open warfare, but by shadowy wars waged in the dark, requiring vigilance, innovation, and the unity of purpose that had carried them this far. Amidst this maelstrom, Kale, a strategist whose origins were humble but whose vision was vast, rose to prominence within Earth's command structure. He exemplified the human approach, combining technical mastery with empathetic leadership, understanding that machines and men were intertwined in the fabric of war. His insights into adaptive tactics and asymmetric warfare shaped campaigns that confounded traditional doctrines and outflanked entrenched enemies. Under his guidance, Earth's forces moved with a blend of calculated precision and flexible daring that kept adversaries perpetually off balance. Meanwhile, Elena and Kale maintained a close partnership, their complementary skills and shared history forging a bond that transcended the battlefield and diplomatic chamber alike. Together, they navigated the turbulent currents of galactic politics and war, embodying the spirit of a species determined not only to survive, but to thrive in the cosmic arena. Their story became emblematic of humanity's rise, a narrative of resilience, ingenuity, and the refusal to be defined by past underestimations. As years passed, the galaxy witnessed the transformation of Earth from a once-overlooked planet into a beacon of power and innovation. The Earth Coalition became a central pillar of galactic stability, its fleets a deterrent to aggression, its diplomats a force for cooperation. The laughter that had once greeted human ambitions was silenced, replaced by cautious respect and, in some quarters, admiration. Yet, the journey was far from over. Humanity's emergence as a superpower invited new challenges, ethical dilemmas about intervention and sovereignty, the burden of leadership in a fractured galaxy, and the continuous need to balance strength with compassion. The legacy they forged was one not merely of military might, but of a commitment to shaping a future where all species could coexist and prosper. In the quiet moments, beneath the endless canopy of stars, Elena and Kale reflected on the path traveled, from obscurity to prominence, from mockery to reverence. They knew that the true measure of their triumph lay not just in battles won, but in the enduring bonds forged across worlds, the hope rekindled in hearts once dimmed by despair, and the promise of a galaxy forever changed by the moment humans revealed their true military power. Continued Chapter 4, The Dawn of a New Order. Despite their meteoric rise and undeniable military prowess, humanity was acutely aware that victory alone did not guarantee peace. The galaxy remained a tapestry of ancient grudges, cultural complexities, and ambitions that stretched beyond stars. The Earth Coalition, now a nexus of power and influence, faced the monumental challenge of shaping a future where strength was balanced with wisdom and might was wielded not for domination but for stability. Ambassador Elena Voss became the architect of this vision. She spearheaded initiatives to bridge divides, foster cooperation among disparate civilizations, and build institutions that could withstand the tremors of conflict. The Galactic Council, once fractured and self-serving, began to transform under her guidance into a forum for genuine dialogue, where voices once drowned out by power now found space to be heard. This was not merely diplomacy as before, it was a new ethos born from the lessons humanity had learned in the crucible of war and survival. Yet beneath the surface of diplomatic progress, threats simmered. The remnants of the old empires, bruised and humiliated, conspired in the shadows. Covert agents sought to undermine the fragile alliances. Extremist factions preached chaos and rebellion. Rival warlords plotted to reclaim lost glory through guerrilla warfare and technological sabotage. The galaxy's peace was tentative, a delicate dance on the edge of a blade. It was in these moments of tension that humanity's greatest strength shone, not just in their overwhelming firepower, but in their capacity for resilience and adaptation. Kale, now a general renowned for his tactical genius and compassionate leadership, oversaw rapid response units capable of striking swiftly against threats while minimizing collateral damage. His strategies integrated the very essence of human warfare: flexibility, initiative, and a profound respect for life. Together, Elena and Kale navigated the labyrinth of war and peace, their partnership a beacon of hope and determination. They forged bonds with alien leaders, learned from cultures vastly different from their own, and shared humanity's vision for a galaxy united not by fear, but by shared purpose. Their journey was far from easy, fraught with setbacks and sacrifices, yet fueled by an unyielding belief that a better future was possible. On the eve of a new galactic cycle, as the twin suns of Helios Prime set behind the Council's towering spires, Elena addressed a gathering that included representatives from hundreds of worlds. Her voice resonated with conviction and grace, echoing through chambers that had once echoed only with discord and rivalry. Today, she declared, we stand not as conquerors or victims, but as partners. Our strength is not in the weapons we wield, but in the alliances we build, the trust we earn, and the hope we inspire. The moment humans revealed their true military power was not an end, but a beginning, the dawn of a new order where every species has a place, every voice is valued, and every life is sacred. A profound silence followed, then rising applause, tears, and a collective breath of relief. It was a moment not just of triumph, but of profound transformation, a galaxy ready to turn the page, to write a new chapter authored by courage, humility, and shared destiny. As Elena stepped down from the podium, Kale joined her, their eyes meeting with quiet pride and unspoken promise. Together, they had changed the course of history, proving that even a species once mocked and overlooked could rise, not just through power, but through perseverance, partnership, and purpose. And in that moment, under the vast cosmic tapestry, the laughter of the past was silenced forever. The galaxy had finally learned. When humans reveal their true military power, no one laughs, they listen, they respect, and they remember.